Yo, what's up, team? So there's something that's been coming through me for the past few weeks, right? And I've been kind of like tiptoeing around it because, it's a little bit of a tough one sometimes to just touch on because it's sensitive. But whenever something's coming through me, I always feel like it's my responsibility to drop it, to birth it into this world, these concepts and ideas. And this has to do with the concept of, as a man, choosing your mate. Now, a lot of the things I'm probably about to say are probably applicable to females, but like, I'm a dude, so I'm a speak like a dude to the dudes, you know what I'm saying? And females, absorb what's useful, disregard what's useless, add what is essentially your own Bruce Lee style, right? So I'm 36, right? And I remember my 20s. You gotta understand, dudes, when you're in your 20s, you ain't really good at anything. Like you're sexy and like you got your six pack, but like you ain't really a G yet. Like you haven't come into yourself yet. So like you didn't. I remember dating girls in my 20s, and like older chicks would always be like, "Dude, when you get in your 30s, you're gonna be ridiculous." And I'm like, "Yeah, what are you talking about?" So first thing, gentlemen, is wait till you get in your 30s, because you can't make a quality decision in your 20s. You just don't have the software yet and the experience. Once you get in your 30s, you start to see through the matrix. You start to understand what's really going on. You start to have money. You start to have capabilities. You just understand the game organically, and all of a sudden you start to realize that there's a very acute advantage that you're starting to acquire. And that's when everything changes. Because about the time you get in your 30s, you start to realize that, you know what? I'm an asset. What am I really asking to do? Like, I want to provide and protect for another human being. Like, I'm like the sun in a solar system. Like, I will provide a literal package, like a life for someone. I will give someone keys to my kingdom. I will work every day of my life to provide and protect and give them a blood transfusion and give them essentially access or reign or influence within, up to like 50% of my kingdom. Now you got to realize, gents, this is a high stake game. Who you choose to spend your life with or choose to, good Lord, sign paperwork with, it is one of the most important decisions you're ever going to make. Who you're going to serve, and what female you're gonna choose to be your life partner. This is why you run into that whole equation of women being like, well, how come a female is considered loose or a hoe or not a valuable female if she has sex with a bunch of dudes, and men are considered players where they can have sex with a bunch of chicks? It's because the masculine imperative is to impregnate as many high quality suitors as possible, and the female imperative is to protect those eggs and be an actual good suitor, at least in the masculine opinion. So then what ends up happening is, if a man wants to have sex with a woman, you've got to woo her, you've got to have all these signals that are high quality signals. Can you protect? Can you provide? Are you physically fit? What is your income? What type of life can you perform? You have to have all these different signals. Used to, back in like the organic game. And so if you can have all those signals, you can have access to higher quality females. Therefore, it really validates you as an actual high quality male. And a signal that's impossible to fake is a female giving herself to you. So this is the whole kind of thing that's running around in the back of dudes' minds in their subconscious. For a man to sleep with lots of females, he's got to be lobster number 8 or 9. Go read Jordan Peterson's book 12 Rules for Life. So he has access to all those females. It is extremely validating for a male on some biological levels. This is leaving religion and all the freaking opinionity, good man, bad man stuff out of it. Now, the female imperative is the opposite. It's can this female, will I know that this is my seed that she's raising? Can she protect the seed that I'm raising? And can I make sure she doesn't get impregnated by someone else and then I end up raising some other man's seed? So then that's why there's this whole biological test. It's not like dudes it's on the level of biology that dudes react to certain chicks in certain ways. That's why some chicks are hit and run prospects and some chicks are keepers. The gooder ones are usually the keepers if you're paying attention. But I'm just some dude on the internet. This is what I think I know. But there's a lot of research that's going to back up what I say, because I do have a master's degree and I can get all schoolboy and weird if we had time. Predator, right? So as a man, if you've done your job in your 20s, you should arrive in your 30s with a bit of a career, with some stuff, in your kind of physical prime, like you used to be excited about stuff in your 20s. You're actually good at stuff in your 30s. So you got to understand, man, when you get to your 30s, it's like you can really make a high quality decision about who you're actually going to spend your life with. But women are your only natural predators. They don't look like predators, but understand a lot of them are. And a lot of dudes are also predators and not worth anything. The whole game when it comes to being male and female is completely different. Our imperatives, our sexual imperatives are completely oppositional. Men are here to further their seed. Women are here to carry that seed if we just go on a biological standpoint. So here's the game as I see it. A lot of you dudes be running around out here like this is like, oh, you got a hot chick and that's like ultra valuable. You got to realize, dude, that if you play your cards right and you take care of yourself, you're going to be like super dope and fit and strong and attractive straight up into your 50s. The chicks got a little bit of a different equation. It's more like a Cinderella equation. They start topping off in their 20s and then start their descent in their 30s, which means that after about their 40s, depending on the genes and like the quality of the female and how well she's taking care of herself, you're looking at an asset that's probably not keeping up with the other assets on the market, at least physically, but this is when other things start to really come into play. You got to be smart, because the reason it's not all that matters is because if you're actually trying to execute on the masculine imperative, which is to further your seed and have high quality seed, to honor your forefathers and everything that you are as a man, I'd take a 6 or 7 any day who is an awesome person, who's fun, who's driven, who's got social intelligence, emotional intelligence, and all that stuff to do life with, and who's got drive and who's got resilience to raise my seed and join forces with me and build an empire with, over some chick who's just hot. Because really, one of the other things you realize when you're 30 is like this whole being hot is just like not good enough to be a meal ticket for the rest of your stinking life, especially when you're looking at a Cinderella effect, right? So you got to realize it's not how hot she is that's going to raise your family. It's who she is. It's her psychology. It's her mind. It's her heart. It's all the baggage she does or doesn't have. It's the way that she is oriented to whatever the outcome of her parental relationships were. These are the things that really make someone a quality life partner or not. And when you're in your 20s, you're so hormonally driven, it's hard to be sober-minded about. And it's best to understand this before you get hitched, because a 30-some-year-old man who's got his stuff together is literally the sexual market value of the equivalent to like a 20-something-year-old chick. Once females around you realize that you have your stuff together, you're in your prime, you have the highest level of kind of like development and maturity and youth, kind of that formula. I don't know what it's like in your 40s, but I met a lot of dudes in their 40s that are super dope all the way up to their 60s. You gotta realize, man, your sexual market value is gonna be like a 23-year-old girl. Like all of a sudden, you're gonna have access to all the chicks that you always wanted when you were like in your 20s, but you were just too stupid to figure out how to pull it off without making it awkward, even though you were sexier. So there's this whole kind of thing that happens. You got to realize one of the rules is once you choose, you lose. It sounds pretty aggressive, but once you choose one, you lose all the rest of them. And it's very, very important that you make sure you're ready to do that before you do it.
Boom! What's up, you guys? Byron Rodgers here. And if that video meant anything to you, if it inspired you, if you appreciated it, I just want to ask you to possibly support us on Patreon. I generate hundreds of videos per year and spend thousands on free content for you guys per month, because it simply is a passion of mine. It's the way that I want to contribute to the world, to the best of my ability. So obviously I'm going to continue to do it, but I wouldn't be able to make it sustainable without my partners who support me on Patreon. So thank you so much if you already do. And if you haven't done that, it's, for what you pay to McDonald's per month, you could help push the mission and this work forward. So anyways, either way, thank you so much. Like, subscribe, check the link below to support me on Patreon if you're interested in that. God bless, Semper Fi, and I'll see you on the next piece of content, y'all. Boom.